All right, today we're going to unpack a really fascinating piece of tech. It's something that's trying to completely rethink how businesses communicate. We're talking about an advanced conversational AI, and it's called CogniChat. Now, the big idea here is, can an AI really act like a company's chief operating officer? It's a bold claim, so let's dig in and find out. So, let's start with a question that probably keeps a lot of business leaders up at night. Can your team actually answer every single customer instantly, 24/7? I mean, as a company grows, communication just becomes this huge bottleneck, right? How do you give perfect support to everyone, everywhere, all at the same time? It's a massive operational headache.
Okay, so what if the answer isn't just, hire more people or buy another simple tool? What if you could actually change the entire operating model from the ground up? This is where the whole concept starts to get really, really interesting.
And this is the core idea they're putting forward. They're saying, don't think of this as just another chatbot. Instead, think of it as an AI Chief Operating Officer, a COO that's totally dedicated to handling all the routine, day-to-day stuff in your customer conversations. The goal? To free up your human team so they can focus on what they're truly great at, the big picture strategy and solving the really complex problems.
I mean, that's a pretty bold claim, right? So how does it actually work? What makes this so-called AI COO any different from those super frustrating script-based chatbots that we've all, let's be honest, yelled at before? Let's get into the brains behind the operation. So let's just lay it out side by side. On one hand, you've got the old school way. Chatbots that are totally rigid, they forget what you said 2 seconds ago, and they get stumped by anything even slightly new. But on the other side, you have a totally new way of thinking. This tech is designed to understand what you mean, not just the specific words you type. It actually remembers the full conversation, and this is the big one, it learns and gets better over time. And look, this isn't magic. It's just some really serious tech under the hood. We're talking about these state-of-the-art transformer models. The same kind of technology that's behind a lot of the big AI models you're hearing about in the news. You can kind of think of it like a brain. It doesn't just hunt for keywords, it actually understands the relationships between the words. And because of that, it can grasp the full context, it can understand slang, and even super specific industry jargon. And best of all, it gets a little bit smarter with every single conversation it has.
Okay, so the tech is definitely impressive. But what does it actually do for a business? What's the bottom line? Let's take a look at how all this cool technology translates into real, measurable results. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters, right? The impact.
All right, let's kick things off with a pretty huge number. We're talking about automating up to 93% of common customer questions. Now, just stop and think about what that really means for a second. It's not just about saving money. It's about freeing up your skilled human team from that soul-crushing, repetitive work so they can actually focus on the high-value problems. That's a massive boost for morale and a great way to prevent burnout.
And then there's the impact on your customers. You know that feeling of waiting hours, maybe even days for a response? Well, that's pretty much a thing of the past. With a system like this, the response time plummets from hours down to just seconds. And it's like that 24/7. For customer satisfaction, that is an absolute game changer.
Now this next number is just staggering. 92. That's the number of languages it can understand and speak. Think about that. A business can suddenly offer consistent, top-notch support to a global audience. Instantly. You don't need to build these huge, expensive multilingual call centers anymore. It completely rewrites the rules for expanding internationally.
But it's not just about being fast and talking to a lot of people. It's also about the quality of the conversation. This system can actually pick up on user sentiment. So if a customer is getting frustrated, it knows to adjust its tone and be more empathetic. It's like adding a layer of emotional intelligence, which is something that's always been missing from these kinds of automated systems.
Now, of course, for any business, especially a big one, security is going to be top of mind. And it's clear this was built with that from the start. We're talking SOC 2 compliance, GDPR adherence, and full data encryption both when it's moving and when it's stored. Honestly, this is all just table stakes. You have to have this to even be in the game. A new tool's pretty useless if it doesn't play nice with the stuff you already use. So it's good to see it has integrations for major platforms like Salesforce and Shopify, plus it can connect to over 100 other data sources. The whole idea is that this AI COO just plugs right into your existing tech stack without a lot of fuss.
All right, let's just zoom out for a second. We've talked a lot about the efficiency, the speed, all the cool features, but the real long-term value here, it's a shift in thinking. It's about moving away from simple automation and towards genuine business intelligence. And this part is so important. Every single interaction, it's not just a ticket closed, it's a data point. The system is constantly listening to your customers. It's gathering all these insights into what they want, what their biggest frustrations are, how they behave. It basically transforms customer support from just a cost center into an engine for making your products and your marketing way better.
And really, that brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful question that this kind of tech raises. Just ask yourself, if you could take all the routine, repetitive, draining communication tasks completely off your team's plate, what else could they do? What incredible strategic projects could they finally launch? What new kinds of customer relationships could they build? That's the future that an AI COO is really designed to unlock.